The High Line was a piece of obsolete industrial infrastructure in a part of Manhattan that was totally forsaken. And the administration that preceded Bloomberg as mayor wanted to demolish it because all of the property owners around felt that it would increase their property values if it was destroyed. There's a group of very young people, it was a ground-up activist project, realized that maybe just turning the High Line into a public park could be something that would be a catalyst for the growth of that part of the city. And they brought it also to the city, same administration, it's a fantastic administration, it's very progressive. And then we got involved very, very early on into this project with James Corner and Piet Oudolf and a group of collaborators. But what we saw on the High Line was this ruin. Basically, it had been sitting since 1980, fallow, with nobody could come up. It was illegal to come up. And all of these seeds that would be airborne seeds or coming off of the shipping containers or the train containers would just fall off and it would be self-seeded. And so what happened was that this very, very strange landscape started to form and a whole ecosystem around it. And it happened in areas that were constantly changing because of the urban context. So sometimes those areas were open to the sun, sometimes they were in shadow, sometimes they were in wind, sometimes sheltered, sometimes very wet. And so all these different seeds, there were different growths, and we were just fascinated. When we went up on the High Line, we thought, wow, if we could capture this very, very strange otherworldliness that happened by itself as a matter of being a ruin, by this very perverse urban nature, how could we capture that and also bring the public up and without destroying that new ecosystem that evolved on its own. That was really the complicated part. And then we figured it out. We realized that you cannot have a path and vegetation. You just simply, that's the conventions of a park. What you need to do is invent a new system of making a path. And in this case, it was the pavers. We designed these pavers that they would comb together with the vegetation and they could be organized in different proportions, different gradients. So you could go from 100% hardscape to 100% vegetation, or any gradient in between. And the path of movement wouldn't be one side or the other, it would be through. That was the major idea. And as we convinced more and more people, we were selected for the project. It was a big project to interpret for the city because they had never done a park in the air before. So there were a lot of new things to think about and to be concerned about. But we were able to, over the years, work through them. And now a mile of the park is open to the public. And we're working on the last third of the park now. And we never anticipated its popularity. Not only is it extraordinarily popular worldwide, but now there's a kind of viral effect. There are High Lines happening all over the world, and also there's a huge amount of growth in this part of Manhattan as a result of the High Line. So the hypothesis that a really strong amenity, public amenity, could actually change the economics of a whole area really proved to be true. We were really fascinated by New York from plus 30 feet. And there you see all the unintended things. You see the blank party walls. You see, of course, the train was depositing meats and foodstuff and light industrial to loading docks. So you see these loading docks and garage doors up at 30 feet. You see tracks going into bricked up buildings. You see smokestacks that you would never see inside of alleys. You see car lifts. You see cars lifted at 30 and 40 feet that you would, like how do you experience that otherwise? You see billboards of underwear ads, huge, and you're very close to them. You see into windows and things that, again, things that you're not supposed to see. And that's the beauty of the High Line, is that it wasn't really designed, those buildings weren't designed to be seen from the High Line. It was an accidental condition that came as a result of, incongruous things and events. And that's what's really so great, is that it's discordant. It doesn't really, it's not understandable in a way. And that's the beauty of it. One of the most important things was that the High Line, if it's about anything at all, it's about nothing. It's the one place that New Yorkers, a new discovery for New York, can come and actually do nothing, because you can't do anything there. You can't throw balls. You can't. You can't bring your bicycle or your rollerblades, or you can walk. You can sit, and New Yorkers that are always very productive and are filling every moment with their lives, either at work, or if they're not at work, they're burning calories, or if they're not burning calories, they're walking their dog, or they're doing something, and it's always, or texting using their devices. But there, you actually can, you're 30 feet up in the air in this very unfamiliar environment. You really kind of let go. And there's one spot on the High Line that is called the Sunken Overlook that goes over 10th Avenue, that frames 10th Avenue, and you can see the headlights, the taillights of cars as they're going uptown. And this is a moment of supreme nothingness. There's really nothing. It's just the street, and it's just the most banal thing that you could possibly imagine. But the public is drawn to it, and they sit there and they stare at it like a fireplace. And to us, it was a profound success that way, because it changed behavior. Even if it's for that length of time that people are there. And New Yorkers really love it. So we consider it a success, because not only do visitors love it, but it's part of New Yorkers' lives. Oh boy, would I have done anything differently on the High Line? I'm not sure that I would have. I think that part of the beauty of what's there and what we made was that it came out of sheer naivete and what I've learned. And actually the last parts of the High Line, what we have collectively learned, the city and the design team, the engineers, the managers, and all of that, is it becomes a little bit more restrictive. And so it's good to have a little bit of knowledge and not too much. And what was really great was that everybody did this leap together and thought that, well, let's take a chance at this. But it was a very big risk, and it was an expensive risk. And it was great that we did it, but it was the right people at the right time with the right administration, and everything was just perfect. And it was also post 9/11, and I think that there was a genuine interest in New York in something that was public and an amenity. And it came when the first chapter, the first part of the High Line opened. It came as a great gift to New Yorkers, because they didn't really anticipate it. And then they were, so happy to have it.